Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Jesus Doctrine. Right now, I'm going to give you an introduction to the book of Ezekiel. Now, if you're reading the book of Ezekiel and you haven't got a clue about what you're reading, I recommend having a look at this series as you read along. I'm not going to attempt to explain the things that I don't understand, because there are many parts of the book of Ezekiel that I've got to be honest, I don't get. If you don't understand it, don't worry, you're not alone. Actually, the Jewish people in Jesus' day were told not to read the book of Ezekiel until they get to the age of 30. The reason was because there were so many things in there that were difficult to comprehend and to understand and to rightly explain. And so actually, people were forbidden to read the book of Ezekiel until they got to a mature age of 30. Good news is I'm 34, so I'm going to have a go at this. I'm going to start off right now with who was Ezekiel. Ezekiel was a young man that was taken into captivity, and at the age of 30 he would have been the next in line to be a priest. Now the priests were there to make offerings and sacrifices in the temple in Jerusalem, but Ezekiel, being a young man taken into Babylon by the river Chebar, he was now not able to make any offering or sacrifice to God in the temple. He's probably thinking all of his preparation and works and his family name and the family priesthood line for him was over. But at the age of 30, by the river, the heavens open and Ezekiel sees a vision of the thrones of God. Watch the next video and I'm going to go into some depth about what Ezekiel's seeing in the throne room of God. You're really going to want to see that video. Really going to want to see it. It's going to be a good video. And Ezekiel sees this image of the throne room of God. Now this represents something. Although you're not in the temple, although you're not serving as a priest, although you are not doing exactly what you planned and you prepared your heart to do for God, it doesn't mean that I'm not with you. And there, the heavens opened and God reveals to Ezekiel his throne. And it's a symbol. You might not have the Ark of the Covenant, but my throne and my presence is with you, even where you are in captivity in Babylon. I am with you. Ezekiel was called not to just be a prophet, not just to be a priest, but God calls him to be a prophet, someone that would speak the very words of God to his nation. He was called to be more than just a prophet, but a watchman, a man that would be there to observe, to watch, to speak into, and to pray for Israel. He was a man that would do many signs and wonders and lead many people to the truth of who God is and what God's plan was through the whole situation of captivity. Just because things are difficult and hard in your life does not mean that God is not there with you and that God doesn't care. You see, Ezekiel always planned that he would do something for God to be this priest, but he probably didn't expect that God was still going to use him and use that time of preparation. This time, God was going to make him into his prophet and use his mouth to say, this is what the Lord says. And this is a common theme that we'll read about in the book of Ezekiel. Now, if you didn't know, Ezekiel was a prophet of God in captivity. Daniel would have already been in the palace of Babylon, of Nebuchadnezzar at that point. But equally so, there was another prophet that was moving around the same time. His name would be Jeremiah. But Jeremiah, rather than being taken into captivity, at around the same time, Jeremiah was actually at work being a prophet to those that remained in Jerusalem. And so this is how the book of Ezekiel starts off. It reveals that around this time that was meant to be so important for Ezekiel, God had not forgotten him, even though everything appeared like God had come against him and everything was going wrong for Israel and for God's people. God has not left them, he's not despised them, and he's not forgotten them, and he's not going to forget you. Jesus promises that he would never leave you nor forsake you. Watch out for the next video. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel, Jesus Doctrine, and please do enjoy this short series that I'm going to make on the book of Ezekiel. Let's read together. Be sure to throw your questions at me. I'll answer what I can and I'll be honest. I won't attempt to answer what I don't understand. God bless you and good night.